Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're doing something super fun today. I am going to be sharing a list of things that I find to be super chic. These are not necessarily things that I personally do. Some of them I do, but some things I just see other people doing, and that's like what I aspire to be. This is very subjective. It's a very much to each your own subject. I've seen so many short form videos on this and I have hesitated to make one myself because I feel like it deserves the time and attention that YouTube has to offer, and so we're bringing this concept to the long form videos. I have a coffee as per usual, just hiding down here, and we're gonna get stuck into it. I am so excited because this list I've just been kind of like throwing into my notes section in my phone for the past month and a half or 2 months. I feel like it's a really curated, specific list that applies to me. So if we have similar style and similar like lifestyle and taste choices, then I hope you guys will really enjoy this. But I'm gonna start off by saying that my definition of chic is effortless, practical, Scandi, and natural. We have a bunch of different categories: beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and also home. I wrote it all down in my planner, which I think is really chic in and of itself. Number one, I feel like is pretty easy, and I feel like it's a little bit different than what's going on in the trending society of today, but I really love minimal jewels. I think that there is an element of balance that needs to happen when you're accessorizing an outfit. I love a statement earring. I love a statement bangle, but I do not love like lots of chunky layers and everything being the moment of the outfit. I think there's a reason that you accessorize in certain areas. Like if you're wearing a high neck top, maybe you only wear earrings. You don't wear like a necklace and earrings and bracelets. Obviously this is very personal to my style, but I have on like smaller earrings right now, a couple of bracelets that I keep on permanently. So this is a permanent bracelet that has a little diamond in it, and then this one is from Rewearing. It's just a faux, is that even a thing? No, they're like fake diamonds. The diamonds are not real, that's what I mean to say. And then I have my vintage watch on that I got at a resale shop that is actually not working, and that's all I have. So that's just an example. I don't obviously wear the same jewelry every time I go out, but just minimal jewelry in general and just being intentional about balancing it out based on the type of outfit that you're wearing. Number two is rewearing your clothing. I am so, and I feel like I talk about this a lot on the vlogs, I'm so incredibly sick of American style and the way that everyone buys trends and they buy cheap trends every single season. Of course, that does not mean that you don't have fun with your style and you don't experiment. But to me, someone who is chic is someone who knows what they love, and maybe you invest a little bit more on a few pieces that you know align so perfectly with your style and who you are as a person and your lifestyle and all of those different things. It's chic that when you see everybody wearing jelly flats in the summer, but you're sticking to like a classic ballet flat or something like that. I think that that's wonderful. And I think that it is something that not everybody does because it's really hard to kind of go against the grain. Everyone wants to fit in. Trends are a really, really great way to be conversation starters and fit in with everyone else in society, and like who doesn't want to belong. But I think it's really cool when you intentionally kind of go against that, or maybe it's not intentional and you just don't go after trends. I think that that is so cool. And going along with that, my next one is a little bit of a lifestyle note, and this is being on time. I still struggle with this from time to time. I get really stressed when I'm running late, and it's usually from like traffic or the subway's not being on time and things that I can't control. But if I left earlier, we wouldn't have these problems. So we'll see if I can implement this later today because I have a fashion show to go to in the city. Love when someone's on time. It means that you value other people's time. It means that you're organized. It means that you kind of, you know, you have a schedule and you stick to it. I just think that's a wonderful quality to have in a person. And when I do look at this like overall picture of someone who is chic, it's someone who is also like underneath all of the visual things that we talked about. It's someone who is kind and thoughtful and well put together in a kind of a non-visual sense. And I feel like being on time is definitely one of those things. I cannot believe I already need a coffee break. Number four kind of goes along the lines of rewearing your clothing, but in a like home sense. So I love mixing old and new. I feel like that's been a really high theme, is like this mid-century modern where you're taking antique furniture and mixing it with newer linens and just kind of taking old pieces that are thrifted and mixing them with more modern ones. I do also see the style reflect into the newness. So if you look at designers like McGee & Co, that's like one of my top designers, that's where these little shams are from. I can link these for you guys. They're wonderful. I think they're also on sale. One of my favorite homeware brands of all time. I cannot afford half of the stuff, more than half of the stuff on the website, but the decor is a little bit more on the affordable side. But mixing things that have a lot of character and history and things that are newer that you gravitate toward, because we are living in a modern time, I think is such an interesting thing. And I think it's also really hard to do. Like, everything in this room, none of it is thrifted, and I will be the first person to admit it. But this is something that I will definitely try to do more of when I have more space and, you know, more time. So not something that I currently do, but I think mixing old with the new is something that it takes a lot of thought and consideration, and I like an intentional purchase. I think it's a talent, but I think it's doable, and it's something that I really love in an interior space. Number 5 is loafers. The reason why I find these to be so effortless and kind of really, really cool is that I see loafers on every single age range. And that is how you know that they stand the test of time. They are outside of that trend bubble. And if you do spend a little bit more on them for a higher quality pair, it will pay off. I see my grandma wearing loafers. I see myself wearing loafers. I see younger people pairing them with socks and tights and making them look and appeal to their age at that time. And it's something that I really don't see in footwear a lot. So loafers, to me, they're comfortable, they're practical, they're also elevated enough to wear into an office setting, but also in a casual setting. And I think that that's something that's super rare in the fashion industry in general, is to be able to cross wear things from different occasions. And loafers, to me, are one of those things that work for pretty much every occasion except for something that's super formal. I just love the way that they look. I love that they're minimal and clean and sophisticated at any age. Number 6 is actually something that I do, and I'm wearing a pair right now. We've got a classic pair of straight leg blue denim on, and I know this wasn't always a thing, so you could argue that this is a trend of the times, but a straight leg pair of denim. It's just like a pair of denim that fits you really, really well, that's flattering, that you wear again like so many times. I love pieces like that in general in my wardrobe, but denim specifically is a heritage piece. Just having a classic pair that you can wear with literally everything, every color matches with denim. And I think that's beautiful. Number 7 is something that I don't do, but I see other people doing, and I'm like, wow, I want to get to that place. Not to be dramatic, but it's not wearing mascara. And I've done it a couple times on some Mondays going into the office, because I'm like, oh, I just like the fresh face, like blushed look. But I would like to kind of exercise this a little bit more, is not wearing mascara, not always doing, and it's hard because my makeup really does only take 5 minutes. So I'm like, what else do I have to delete from the routine? We're already doing it really, really quickly. And I feel blessed for that. But at the same time, I love this natural makeup look, and I feel like the only way to do that is to not wear mascara. And guilty, I'm wearing it now, and I'm wearing a lot of it. So no mascara, we're working on it. I also just feel like if I don't wear mascara for a day and then I put on mascara the day after, I know it's an illusion, but I feel like my eyelashes grew. They got thicker. I feel like they got healthier. And I put on that first coat and I'm like, whoa, who do these belong to? Where did they come from? And it's just a wonderful thing. I had to just take a pause. Okay, now I have fuzzies in my eye. We just had to take a quick pause because my camera battery died. So we talked enough about eyelashes. This is another beauty category thing, and it's natural hair. I feel like it's talked about a lot that everyone's going back to their natural hair color, and that is part of it. But I think the other thing that I've been loving is, and I see this a lot with Parisian women and just people in Europe in general, they wear their natural hair. I just think that that's the beauty standard there, and I think that they're able to embrace their natural hair a lot more than us, where we're like so into styling and slicking, and I shouldn't even talk right now. I love the way that natural hair looks, and again, when you have a really nice elevated outfit and your hair is not perfectly placed, it's just this really nice undone effortless look to it. And I'm trying to do that a little bit more. I have wavy hair, for those of you who don't know, and you probably don't know that because I never wear my hair natural, but I have been letting it go wavy and then just using my waver to like touch up the pieces that are like really crazy. But I just love you know, embracing the natural hair, seeing it on other people. I think it just looks so chic and like almost is pretty obvious that you didn't try at least one thing, and I just think that is a really nice look. So I'm gonna try to do that a little bit more, obviously not today, but yeah, natural texture, kind of a little messy maybe, but still chic. The next two that I have are lifestyle. One of them is saving money. So there's something really wonderful about having savings and knowing that if you want to go on a trip or if you want to have money for a rainy day, if something happens, I just love the fact that you can feel so secure and so confident in yourself in the fact that you have something saved up and that you didn't just spend it on clothes, beauty, shoes, whatever the case may be. Obviously there are living expenses, but I think a lot of our disposable income nowadays is spent on so much consumerism because that's what we are fed in the United States. And it's probably also like that in other countries too. I just can't speak specifically on those, but I personally have savings. I also grew up in a household that emphasized savings, and my mom was an accountant, so I had been blessed with that type of knowledge. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that I was saving. As I've come along like different phases of my life, I've met people who put themselves into so much debt and they buy things on, like, what is that called when you pay later? Or is it Klarna, where you pay in sections? I think that's wonderful if that's something that you want to attain and you just can't like spend the whole lump sum. But I think there's also something really amazing about looking at something and being like, I don't have enough money to buy this, so I'm not going to. Or I want to save for a trip, so I'm going to put this money away instead of buying another jacket when I have 17 jackets. I also kind of like put reselling and using that money as a sort of saving, because when I put stuff on Poshmark, I use that money toward anything that I want to buy for the new season, but I maybe sold so many more items that were just sitting in my closet and going off to new homes. And it is like a win-win scenario. So I sell a bunch of stuff, I'm decluttering, but then I also can buy like one nice quality item that I've had my eye on for the season. But it's hard, let me tell you, in this day and age, saving money in general. And you know, I'm 29, I have 11 weddings this year. We have travel that's involved with that, gifts, bridal showers, bachelorette trips. Like, it's hard to save, but it's one of my biggest priorities in life because I know how wonderful it feels to have a little bit of cushion. And so yeah, I think that saving money leads to being chic because you just have this sense of confidence about you and knowing that you are secure in that area of your life. And so I encourage you, if you've never thought about it before, to kind of maybe make a plan or see if you can save a little bit here and there every month. And the second thing, which is number 10, but we're going along with this whole like saving money thing, it is so incredibly chic to do your returns. We do a lot of online shopping. We do a lot of buying and maybe deciding later. There's nothing more chic than packaging your stuff up that you don't want to keep and getting it back in time. Depending on the brand, obviously they have different return policies. This is something that I had to learn, is read the return policy when you're buying something so that when it gets there, you know, okay, I have 7 days to return this. That's crazy, but if a brand does require that, you know when you need to get things in. There are countless times where I have not made it back to Zara or I haven't gone to the post office and I end up eating the cost for items that I don't even want. And that to me is just embarrassing. Let's do our returns, ladies. I know I cannot be the only one. Just do your returns, get that money back, save that money for that month. It kind of all ties in together. So yeah, get to the post office, just do it. It'll make you feel amazing about yourself, and that leads to exuding chicness, you know? Number 11 is a tricky one, and it is giving genuine compliments to people. I know that sounds really point blank and easy, but I have kind of learned in my 29 years, as I mentioned, to decipher between when someone is just like throwing compliments because it makes them feel good, and like when you're being complimented because someone genuinely thinks that. And every time I receive a genuine compliment, it does make me feel good. It probably also makes the other person feel good, but it's just contributing to this overall, like, we're in a society where we compare ourselves so much. And so every time I hear a genuine compliment, it just makes my day, honestly. It could be a stranger on the street or my best friend, but it's specifically being intentional with the compliments that you give out. And I feel like if you're just kind of like sprinkling these surface level compliments to everybody, if you don't actually like love something, you don't have to say it. Or if you don't, you know, agree with someone wholeheartedly and you just want to make them feel better about a situation, like, don't agree or just don't say anything. But I think that being really intentional and specific makes a really huge difference. And I just think it's chic when someone's like not even thinking about like having to compliment someone, but it just kind of comes into conversation because that's actually their belief. We're hopping into the home category now. I'm talking about cool glassware. My first thought is to do this in a vintage store or to buy it secondhand, but usually with glassware, these sets end up at a resale shop because they're probably missing one, or there's maybe only 3 left or something like that. So I'm not saying you only have to get the secondhand. There are a lot of places like Crate and Barrel that do really affordable glassware, and they do really cool glasses. So like cocktail glasses, wine goblets. Like, I love a tablescape that is nothing too crazy, but there are different elements of interest with, you know, the type of glass that you choose, where it's not a crazy color, it's not an insane texture, but the silhouette of the glass is just something that is a little bit different. I think it's just because my fiance and I are the people who intend to host one day when we have a house and we have the space. And this is something that I definitely want to implement into my own home when we do have people over, is to kind of just make it a little bit more of like a fun experience for people, even if that is just whatever glass we give their drink into. And I feel like it's just another way to communicate your style and your personality, and it's not necessarily hard to do or super expensive. So I don't know, I feel like this list is getting so random. Okay, the next one's quick. A drape sweater. I think that that is the epitome of chicness. I think that it looks like, you know, you didn't really want to put it there, but you did on purpose, and it's really intentional but looks unintentional. And I feel like that juxtaposition of something that you tried to do but that looks like you didn't try, that is the word chic. We're just adding to the definition here. So yeah, you'll see me doing this a lot in my vlogs. We're going into the fall season in New York City, and that is like my first go-to thing, is keep wearing my base layers but then drape a sweater when it's getting a little bit chillier out. So you'll see me doing that a lot, and I just felt like I had to mention it because it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's always gonna be a thing. You guys are gonna call me out for this one because I don't necessarily practice this, but something I find really chic is a brandless mid-tier handbag. And so I'm talking about those brands that are still using real leather, still have really amazing quality, but you're not paying a designer price tag. With this, you are still investing in something that is going to last forever, and it makes you really consider the purchase, but it's not going to deplete your savings or take away from the house that you're trying to buy or things you need to afford for your children. And there are no logos. A lot of these mid-tier brands don't have logos, and I have a few that I really love, and sometimes I wear my logo-less pieces more than I wear my logo pieces. It's just because I, number one, don't want to get robbed in the city, but also because I just feel like it's really cool. Like, when no one knows where you got something from, it's kind of like along the lines of shopping vintage. If no one knows where you got it from, automatically amazing. Like, if I have to ask, that's amazing. Like, that's incredible. Good for you. I just feel like it's cool to go about your day and have people not know what brand you got your item from. And trust me, like, I can see a Polen bag on the street and know exactly where it's from. The branding is super small, but I just know the brand so well. But like, let's say to a man's not gonna know that you got that bag from Polen, but they're gonna know if you got one from Louis Vuitton. So yeah, we're just, okay, not to offend any men out there, because some people do know, but just as a general example. I do also think I want to film a video on mid-tier handbags, so let me know in the comments if you guys want to see something like that. Okay, moving on. Next one, you're gonna hate me for. It's a white t-shirt. Just like how I mentioned with loafers, I think it's really amazing when a piece stands the test of time. No matter what decade you're in, no matter what age you are, anyone can wear a white tee and make it look chic. It needs to be clean. It needs to not have makeup all over, which I have over here, so we've covered that up. But a nice, crisp white tee, a pair of denim, you put it with trousers, basically any bottoms that you want, and a white tee will slap every time. And I feel like I'm giving away my age by saying something that slaps, but a white t-shirt, it just will go down in history as the chicest piece of clothing and probably the one thing that everybody owns. But as I mentioned, it has to be a really great white tee for each person that's wearing it. Obviously, every person is different, every body's different. Make sure it's not see-through, make sure it's nice quality. That doesn't mean you have to spend a crap ton of money. Uniqlo has really affordable t-shirts, but they're 100% cotton and a lot nicer quality. So yeah, just nice quality, nice silhouette, whatever is tailored to you, and wear it however you want it. That's the beautiful thing about it, is that one chic piece could be worn in a bajillion different ways. And we love rewearing clothes, as we already mentioned. 16 is a claw clip. I haven't worn a claw clip in a while because my hair is at a really weird length and I get this like tail at the bottom. But I love a claw clip. I love the way that it's kind of perfectly messy. You just throw your hair up, but it also kind of looks like an updo. You guys know what I mean. The next one I'm kind of biased to. It is a home kind of item, but it's brick. in an interior. So I do have some behind me. Ours is really old. This building itself is pre-war and I don't even know like when it was built. So, so I am definitely biased because I love this focal point in our room, but I also came from New York City and a lot of the apartments have that historical charm to it. I love the character that it brings. I'm not like a colored type of person, you guys know, but something about like the warmth of brick is just stunning. I've seen it in some kitchens on Pinterest and I just absolutely love the character and texture and interest that it brings into a room. And I just think it's chic to have something that like is supposed to be outside, but that you have it on the inside of your house. I don't know. Number 18 is something that I was practicing, but I'm not right now, and it is neutral nails. Right now my nails are bare and I don't even want you guys to look at them because we're kind of on a health journey with our nails. It's not going fantastically. They're having a little bit of a struggle, but we are trying before my wedding, before I start getting hard gel again, because I cannot have my nails look like this on my wedding day. But I love a neutral nail. That also includes red, by the way. Red to me is a neutral when it comes to natural nail colors, just because I always think red is going to be a classic. But yeah, just like someone who gets different shades of like nice nudie pinks, I think that's so cool. I think it's nice that your nails don't have to be painted like the color of the season, and then it doesn't like clash with your outfit. Obviously this is subjective. Some people want to wear their nails blue in the summertime because that's their favorite color right now, and that's amazing. But for me, I love when an outfit and a personality and all the other elements of a person speak for themselves instead of having like, you know, I have chiclet nails right now, so if I painted them any color, it would draw attention that I do not need. I'm just gonna say neutral nails are always a win, and I think they do look the chicest out of all of the options. So this one is specific to a coffee shop, and as if you've been on the channel for a while, you know that I frequent those multiple times a week. But something that I learned from my fiance actually is saying thank you when you leave the cafe. So it's not like when you get your drink and you say please and thank you. That's always like necessary. If you don't do that, we need to talk about it. This is kind of like going the extra step, and that's why I think it's chic, because it's not something you have to do, but it's something that you do because you're just, I don't know, overly expressive and grateful. But you have your drink, you either chill and hang out for a little bit, or you're on the go and you get your coffee and you're leaving, and you just turn your back right before you leave the door and you say thanks so much. And like whether or not they hear you is not it. It's just acknowledging the people who work in this establishment, who are opening it at 6 a.m. every morning, or sometimes earlier, for you to go and get your cup of happiness, or for me it's a cup of happiness, and you're just kind of, you know, giving one more note of thanks before you leave. Again, not necessary. Not a lot of people do this. I learned to do this because my fiance always does it, and I thought that it was so nice and just uncommon. And that's also another element of chicness, is like doing things that are not that common. I'm not bragging, but when I do leave the subway, if I pass the cart of the conductor, they always have the window down, and I'll just say thank you, and they're always like shocked, and they're like, you're welcome. Like, they do respond to me, but I feel like it's kind of shocked because I've never seen anyone do it. So if you guys live in a place that has public transportation, or if you live in New York City and you pass the conductor, just say thank you. Like, you're not, those aren't automatic. You're not getting to the destination because we have, you know, AI in the subway. Those are real people, and they're working very hard to get you to the places you need to be. And so yeah, just like say an extra thank you. I think it's really, really, I don't know, classy. Number 20 is high contrast neutrals. That's specifically talking about interiors. Again, I feel like we didn't have too many of those in here, but I wanted to just kind of sprinkle in a couple of my favorites, and this was a more recent realization. So as you guys can see behind me, we have like this flax color of bedding, and we used to have brown pillows that were solid here. Still the same type of idea, but I just switched out recently for these patterned ones. But I love mixing neutrals, but having them be high contrast, because again, I think that adds dimension, it adds layering, it adds interest into a room without having to go out of your comfort zone and like choose to have orange pillows. Cause like that will never, I shouldn't say never, but most likely I'll never have orange pillows in my life, or any other like color. So keeping it neutral, but having really, really different like tones of color, I think is a really cool way to decorate your space. Obviously, again, everything is subjective. If you hate this, that's fine, I love it. But yeah, high contrasting neutrals that kind of you know, bring a little bit of dimension and interest into a room, because this beige thing, like, I can't do it anymore. That's one thing where I'm like, that's not subjective. If you have like only creams and only beiges and your house looks like a literal blob, I think we need to like talk a little bit. So if anyone needs help, let me know. Maybe I'll switch my profession to interior design if anyone ends up actually liking what I have to say. But I think in general, if you have the beige blobby, let's try to find some patterns and different tones to add in there to have a space that you're like really proud of. I don't know, maybe you're proud of your neutrals and that's fine too, but to me there's only my personal opinion, there's only one right answer, and it's to have varying colors in a space. We're kind of exiting the season for this, but thicker thong flip-flops, to me, I did not realize how chic I thought these were until this summer when I bought a pair, and I'm not even kidding, I wore them 4 or 5 times a week. It was to get coffee, it was with, you know, straight leg jeans and a t-shirt and a draped sweater. Like, it just brought such an element to my outfit that I was not expecting. I think it's because of the really clean lines that it adds to an outfit, especially if it's like a lightweight, like flowier kind of silhouette for the summer. And Carolyn Bessette is like queen of the thong flip-flop, I feel like, and I think that her style is incredible. So that's probably another reason why I think this is incredibly chic. But yeah, just something that's really, again, effortless, that you just throw on to add a little bit of, you know, interest into your look. The 22nd one, and then I'm actually gonna let you guys go. If you guys made it to the end of this video, I'm sorry, because I should have mentioned this earlier, but the last thing that I have, number 22, is to make your bed every day. Just do it. It's like a running joke with myself that I haven't said on the vlog yet, but I make my bed every vlog almost, and sometimes multiple times in vlog. I'm like, why am I, this vlog is just me making my bed. But what it has made me realize is that every single time I do it, it takes me less than 1 minute and 40 seconds to make my bed. And that's with me like chopping the pillows, making sure they're even, because me and my fiance have different pillows like that we sleep on. So I'm going like the extra mile, and it takes less than 2 minutes to do. It makes your space look really presentable. I know, even if you guys don't realize this, having a clean space sets you up for success. It makes you more focused. It makes you less anxious. And I know that anyone that lives in a chaotic space would much rather have a cleaner space. That's just science. I've literally read it somewhere. I'm not gonna cite it because I can't remember. But getting up in the morning and doing something for yourself that is going to make your day better, and it takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. I know that people are like, make sure you have time to journal and drink a whole cup of tea and sit and manifest and meditate like before work. And I'm like, I don't have that time, but do I have less than 2 minutes? You bet your ass I do. So make your bed every day. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I talked so much that I'm not even gonna make this a long outro, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you wanna see something more like this, definitely let me know, because I mean, I just love chatting with you guys as always, and this was really fun. I wish you guys were like in front of me so we can have like a little back and forth conversation about it, but I'm sure I'll hear a lot of comments about the things that I've mentioned today. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Love you all so much, and I will see you very soon.